mom's life is the most important thing to me. I called my mom. I have this gene, and I think you need to get tested. She feels like it was truly life-saving. Important thing to me. I called my mom. I have this gene, and I think you need to get tested. She feels like it was truly life-saving. Important thing to me. I called my mom. I have this gene, and I think you need to get tested. She feels like it was truly life-saving. Important thing to me. I called my mom. I have this gene, and I think you need to get tested. She feels like it was truly life-saving.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to a reaction stream for Jeff Keighley's Game Awards 2023. This is the big show. This is the yearly gathering of announcement trailers and some awards. And today is going to be a big day for discourse because we're learning what exactly has been nominated by the games industry, a panel of jurors. I do not know the exact number. I believe in the past it's been 70 different outlets, maybe close up to 100 as well. I don't know how many this year. I'm sure Jeff will say that at the start of the stream. But today we are reacting to the nominees, and I'm sure we will also have reactions for the actual awards when those happen. I want to say on December 7th of this year. We did reactions last year. The TechRaptor podcast crew sat down and reacted to see what was new in gaming. We got to see the Christopher Judge acceptance speech as well. We got to see the Death Stranding 2 reveal announcement, the Armored Core 6 reveal. That was last year. So that's going to be huge. And I'm sure there will be plenty of time for predictions of what will be announced at this year's Game Awards. But that comes at a later date. Like I said, today is all about the nominees. I feel like I haven't said this yet. I'm social lead Christian Buckley here at TechRaptor. We have a lot of exciting stuff going on this week. If you're coming in just now, this Wednesday, we're going to be doing our third and final showcase of 2023, the TechRaptor Indie Spotlight. This one is very exciting. I'm going to finish up the edit today, probably after this stream. It's a very exciting one. We've done 2 so far. We're continuing to build it up, and this one is special. This one's got some nice contributions from some great indie developers and publishers. So very excited for that to be out there in the world. So stay tuned right here this Wednesday for that. And you can watch it live as it premieres. Find your next favorite indie game. Because as we know, indie games are pretty great. Indie games get nominated for the Game of the Year award sometimes. And this year, it's going to be contentious, I think. 6 slots confirmed. And now I started in, I guess, film fandom before game fandom. Well, it started with games, and then I got into film when I thought games weren't it anymore. And then I got back into games. I'm like, wow, yeah, this is great. The Witcher 3 changed my life. People have been upset about the idea of expanding the Game of the Year category beyond 6 nominees. Because this year is just unprecedented in the number of games that have released that are quality and deserve to be nominated for Game of the Year. A lot of people haven't been down with that idea. The Oscars has 10 slots. They don't fill them every year, but they can go up to 10. Sometimes they do 7, sometimes they do 9, but they allow 10. So I didn't think it was that big a deal. People were just upset about the idea of like, oh, it means less if 10 games get nominated. It's like, okay, well, because of that though, because there are only 6 slots available, let me pull this up real quick. Jeff Keighley sent out a tweet about an hour ago. Because there are only 6 slots available, we got, that's what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Jeff Keighley saying there's going to be some things to predict, mainly in terms of snubs. So we're going to go through this real quick. We're going to give my thoughts on this prompt. The most nominated game, the most nominated publisher, the biggest surprise, and the biggest snub. I kind of got this locked and loaded, so let's take care of this. Most nominated game, I think, is going to be Baldur's Gate 3. I think in terms of like writing, RPG, depending on if they want to do this, independent game, because they are independently published. Best ongoing game, maybe even, because it was an early access title. Best music, best performance. I'm sure one of the several beloved party members of Baldur's Gate 3 will be nominated for best performance. Probably multiple of them. So yeah, I'm assuming Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be the most nominated game. Music, I'm sure is good. I haven't played the game yet, but yeah, it's getting the most. Most nominated publisher. I'm going to go out on a limb because, listen, PlayStation had a pretty quiet year. They had Spider-Man 2. They had that Horizon VR game. They had Horizon DLC. I don't think PlayStation has it for most nominated publisher. And a similar turn, I don't think Xbox has it either. Between Starfield and Hi-Fi Rush being notable ones. I don't know how many of their other titles from this year will be nominated. Nintendo, though, I feel like Nintendo's a safe bet for this one, because Family Game is going to be like all Nintendo titles. Was there a single Family Game this year that wasn't a Nintendo published game? Like maybe you could say Minecraft Legends, but are kids playing RTS games? So you're playing an RTS game with your family on a sofa on a Sunday night? I don't think so. So that family category, I think, is gonna pull some heavy weight for getting Nintendo this achievement, I guess. Most nominated publisher achievement. Biggest surprise. Here's one that I, again, haven't played this one, but I am surprised I have not seen it on more people's predictions for Game of the Year. I think biggest surprise is going to be in the Game of the Year category. Because usually every year, even in big years, Game of the Year has a game amongst the nominees. Like whether it's an indie game, a smaller title. I'm thinking like we've had Hades there, we've had Celeste there, we've had Stray. I think the game that is going to be nominated in Game of the Year, one of these 6 nominees, is going to be Lies of P. The Pinocchio Bloodborne clone. Like, I, again, haven't played it. I would like to check it out before end of the year, but the number of people I have seen this year who are not Souls-like people, not fans of From Software. They tried Elden Ring, and Elden Ring was brought with it a huge tidal wave of new fans to From Software and Souls-likes. These people who did not click with Elden Ring loved Lies of P. So I think Lies of P, for being maybe the most approachable Souls-like I have ever seen, and even from like Souls fans and veterans really enjoying that one, I think that, I'm not going to say it's a lock, but I think that that is going to be pretty likely to get a nominee for GOTY, and I think that's going to surprise some people. So that's my guess for biggest surprise. Biggest snub? This one's tricky, because I think many snubs are going to happen. If I had to go out on a limb, And when I think of biggest snub, I think it's going to be one that's going to have the largest outcry for one reason or another, whether it is quality or fandom rage, what have you. I think there are 3 games some people think, oh, clearly this is going to be a GOTY nominee, that I don't necessarily know if I think is a lock, like a full lock. And those are Final Fantasy 16, Starfield, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2 for GOTY. Spider-Man 2, I'm like more inclined to think is getting a nominee. Like when we did the when we did the predictions for actual game of the year, or I did that. Keely did another tweet recently. These are my predictions. I think the 6 nominees are going to be Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Lies of P, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Street Fighter 6 / maybe Diablo 4, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I think Spider-Man 2 is going to get a nom, but I think it's going to be close. Mainly, I think Final Fantasy 16 and Starfield both have as many people who do not like them at all as there are people who love them and think they're GOTY material. I played both of those games. I enjoyed both those games a lot. They both got issues. And on a similar turn, I include Spider-Man in that loop because when Spider-Man 2018 got nominated, it felt like we're giving it one because it was like a really good Spider-Man game after a long time of not really good Spider-Man games. But that was also the year of like Red Dead 2 and God of War, you know? So I don't know. I feel like there are games this year. I think Spider-Man 2 is a similar level of quality as that first one. If there were if there were as many killer games in 2018 as there were this year, beyond the obvious choices of God of War versus Red Dead 2 that year, I think Spider-Man would not have made that nom list. So I think it's a toss-up. I feel pretty strongly about those first 4 on my predictions list here. Not as locked in on the bottom 2, because Street Fighter is still relatively niche. It's a fighting game, and you got to think there's an entire industry of people who are voting on these awards. That's why I give some more credit to Spider-Man 2, because it's very approachable. A lot of people can pick up and play that game. It has decent accessibility, sweet. So, yeah. And a similar thing, the reason I think Diablo 4 has a shot of getting one of the 6 noms is because the people who turned around in Diablo 4 that hate that game now are the people that play that game like it's their second job. And the majority of people who played Diablo 4 played it in those first 4 weeks before the first season launched, loved it, went away, was like, damn, Blizzard did another one, they got one. And I think that was the lasting impression a lot of people had. So I could definitely see some people who really enjoyed Diablo 4 give it their nod, and that be enough to get it one of the 6 nominees. So that's what I'm thinking for my prediction of what's getting nominated. That's what I'm thinking for my biggest surprise snub. Keely's questions. If I had to lock in what I think will be the biggest snub, it's going back to the conversation we were just having. I don't know if I believe Starfield will get the nom. I think Final Fantasy 16 has a better shot than Starfield. I don't know which of those 2 games I like more, but I think Final Fantasy 16 is more traditionally appealing to the people who are voting on these awards compared to Bethesda RPGs, which, for every person who liked 16, there is somebody who is mad that it's not turn-based, or is mad that it's mature, or has like legitimate criticisms about that story. I'm in that camp. And for everybody who loves the freedom of Starfield, there are people who think it is old, outdated, So I think the solid locks for sure are Zelda, Baldur's Gate, and Alan Wake, if I had to give locks. Because I think Alan Wake, yes, it's recent, but also think Control got a nom in 2019. It won several outlets like full-blown GOTY that year, including like IGN. So Remedy is, for entire original games, on a hot streak. Crossfire X was kind of, Crossfire already existed. Remedy came on board to just do like some work on that and make a little campaign out of it, you know. But those are my guesses for the Keeleys. We get 10 minutes to go, roughly, until the nominees are revealed. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see what the industry decided to nominate this year. I'm curious to see what gets snubbed, how many snubs there are. We'll see. We'll see what's in store. But the Game Awards is live now. Got 10 minutes and 20 seconds left. How are we doing this morning? I'm looking forward to this. I'm also looking forward to the actual award show night. Like I said, I don't know what our specific plans are for coverage on that just yet, but last year was fun. Ran tech, watched it with the podcast crew, had a good time. That Death Stranding trailer was very nice. So, sure we're going to be getting another one of those. Kojima's been editing something this year. So, it seems time. I thought it was going to be time at TGS, if I'm being honest. So, I'm excited. We got some news. PlayStation's Black Friday deals for this year. 30% off 12-month membership plans. Oh, so is it the normal price that I was paying for PlayStation Plus before? Oh, boy. I'm wondering also, there's been a lot of conversation with GTA 6, right? In terms of the Game Awards. It would make sense, I guess, for there to not be a trailer here. Not today, I'm talking about the actual award show, because Rockstar loves doing their own thing. So I'm curious what Keely's trying to do, because I'm sure he is trying to get it at the show. I know he knows it's impossible, but I'm sure he would also love to have it nominated for most anticipated. He might even throw that in there today, just for the most anticipated list. The next Grand Theft Auto, because that's what it's been referred to as officially by Rockstar. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for announcements. I'm hopeful for reveals. I'm also hopeful for the nominees this year. I do hope, though, the balance is solid in terms of the show. Because last year it felt like it was like a little too skewed towards announcements, and they've been trending that way for a while. I think last year was better than the year before. The year before, I remember it being very tough in terms of how much time was given to awards. So, we are moments away from the big reveal. My hope, if I'm being real, because those were my predictions for the Game of the Year 6. My hope is that we get a little love for Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush is, it's in my top 3, like for sure this year. I love Hi-Fi Rush. I like it more than Starfield. I think I might like it more than Final Fantasy. No, I think I do like it more than Final Fantasy 16 as a game. It's like up there for me with Zelda and I guess Jedi. Jedi was the other game I liked a lot this year so far. I still have to get to Alan Wake. I just finished the remaster of that, so I'm looking forward to checking that out sooner or later. But if I could have it my way, I think the noms would be Zelda, Hi-Fi Rush, Alan Wake, Baldur's Gate. Let's give some love to Street Fighter 6. And personally, overall, I feel like I might have liked Jedi Survivor more than Spider-Man 2. it feels like a more substantial sequel to me. We'll go Spider-Man 2. Despite me, I think, liking Jedi Survivor more. Because if I'm remembering correctly, I don't believe Jedi Survivor was nominated. Sorry, Jedi Fallen Order was nominated back in 2019. Let me check that. Let's see. Was Jedi Fallen Order nominated? TGA 2019 noms. The Game Awards, yeah. The Game Awards 2019 Game of the Year nominees were Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Control from Remedy, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, put a pen in that, Death Stranding, and The Outer Worlds. No Jedi Survivor. Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Survivor, I think, will also not get nominated this year. Mainly, I think, because of performance issues. That'll dock it from getting nominated. I think that slot would either go to a Spider-Man 2 or a Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Survivor. Why is it every single time I try and talk about either of them, I swap the titles? I don't know, man. Jedi Survivor fits in that Spider-Man 2 slot. The Jedi games and the Insomniac Spider-Man games are like linked in my mind. I don't know why. I just view them very similarly in terms of adapting a IP and doing it very well and being just very good all around. Not necessarily amazing or astonishing, but just really, really good. Like, it feels as good to swing a lightsaber and as close to what you expect that to do in those Jedi games as web swinging feels in the Spider-Man games. I think that's the reason they're so linked in my head. They just got game feel down pat with both of those franchises. So, moments away from the Keeleys. I think I'll be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if Liza P gets a nom, because like I'm expecting that to be the surprise. What I will be surprised on is if Jedi gets a nomination, I think. Even though I think Starfield's going to get snubbed, and even 16, I don't know if I'd be surprised if they were nominated. Because like I get it, because those are just some of the biggest games of the year, so yeah, of course they have a shot. I think Armored Core 6 I'd also be surprised on. I didn't get around to that one. I love From Software. It's been a very busy year for games. I think I would be surprised if Armored Core 6 gets a nod. Mainly because it seems like, from the outside, it is a larger wall to climb, a larger hurdle to leap, getting into an Armored Core 6 versus something like a Liza P, which also delivers a similar experience to those From Software entries. So I think the From Software slot honestly might get taken up by Liza P. It's just because it's so contentious this year. It's so much of a close race that I think From Software is going to get out From Software because they didn't make a traditional Souls game. Somebody else did, and a lot of people were able to play it compared to From Software Souls games. So that is my full expectation. We'll see what happens. Just 2 minutes away. And these are usually pretty fast. These are usually like lightning fast announcements. So, boy, this is just going to set the tone for the rest of the day also. If you're going to be on social media, prepare for this to take up the entire day. Unless Rockstar drops the GTA trailer. This is it. This is the day. Just 1 minute. I think the biggest disappointment will be if Hi-Fi Rush gets snubbed across the board. Like, I'm not expecting it to get a Game of the Year nomination. I would love it to. I think it deserves to. But if it doesn't get, like, Best Action Game or Sound Design, Music, I will be stunned if that doesn't happen for that game. It's just too good. We started the year so strong with that game, and honestly, it's been every game I play this year. Is it as good as Hi-Fi Rush? That's the barometer. So that's why I think it's going to end up in my top 3. I still have to finish Zelda, but as of right now, for finished games that I've beaten, Hi-Fi Rush is number 1. I am imagining when I finish Zelda is going to take that slot for me personally, but it's just so good. Deserves it. 10 seconds. Here we go, everybody. I'm going to crank the Keeley stream just a little bit. Here we go.
There have been so many great games in 2023, and on Thursday, December 7th, we will celebrate the best of the best at the 10th Annual Game Awards, streaming live everywhere from right here at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. I'm Jeff Keighley, and it is finally time to reveal the nominees across more than 30 categories. And to help select the winners, you can vote in all categories starting now at thegameawards.com. This is going to be a very special TGA filled with new game announcements from teams around the world, and in the coming weeks we will have much more to share. But now, I am honored to get to the task at hand.
He's trying to hype
Here
up.
are the nominees as
Imagine if he gets, like,
selected
the
by our
Elden Ring
voting
DLC
jury
and
for the
GTA
Game
6.
Awards 2023. For Best Performance, the nominees are Ben Starr as Clive, Final Fantasy XVI; Cameron Monaghan as Cal
Nice.
Kestis, Star Wars Jedi Survivor; Idris Elba as Solomon Reed,
sure. Yeah, that
Cyberpunk
makes sense.
2077, Phantom Liberty; Melanie Liebert as Saga Anderson,
Solid.
Alan Wake 2; Neil Newbon as Astarion, Baldur's Gate 3; and Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. For Best Ongoing
Best
Game,
Spider-Man.
the nominees are Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Genshin Impact. In the category of Best Multiplayer, presented by Discord, Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. The nominees for Best Art Direction are
Huh? I haven't messed
Alan
with it yet.
Wake
I've
2,
heard good things about it, but that's...
Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P,
Okay, Hi-Fi Rush, there we
Super
go.
Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. For Best Score and Music, the nominees are Alan Wake 2, composer Petri Alonko; Baldur's Gate
Give me
3,
Hi-Fi Rush.
composer Borislav Slavov;
I know it's
Fantasy
licensed
16,
music, but, like, that's
composer
part of it. That's still
Masayoshi
good.
Soken; Hi-Fi Rush, audio director Shuichi Kobori; and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, composed by Nintendo Sound Team. The Best Audio Design nominees are Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil
Hi-Fi
4.
Rush has got to be in here.
Best Adaptation
That's wild.
recognizes excellence in authentically creating shows, movies, and other creative endeavors based on video game worlds and characters. Here are this year's nominees for Best
Okay.
Adaptation: Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo,
I forgot about the Gran
The
Turismo
Last of
movie.
Us, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Twisted Metal. For Best Narrative, the nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077,
Oh, wow.
Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy XVI, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Games for Impact celebrates thought-provoking games with profound pro-social meaning. This year's nominees are A Space for the Unbound, Chance of Sonar, Goodbye Volcano High, Chia, Terra Nil, and Venba. For Best Independent Game, the nominees are Cocoon,
Does Baldur's Gate get in?
Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder. For Best Mobile Game,
Interesting.
the nominees are Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, Honkai Star Rail,
Because you'll have a lot of
Hello
people saying
Kitty
Dave the
Island
Diver
Adventure,
isn't actually an indie game.
Monster
so.
Hunter Now, and Terra
Nexon,
Nil.
back to that one.
Best Community Support acknowledges a game for exceptional support, transparency, and responsiveness to players. The nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, and No Man's Sky. Okay, now it's time for Best Debut Indie Game, which recognizes a development team that hasn't been on the TGA stage before. In fact, these teams published their first game in 2023. The nominees are Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba.
Pizza Tower's
And
huge.
Viewfinder.
I haven't played that, but that
For Best VR
took
AR
over
game,
the
the
internet.
nominees are
At least where I was looking.
Gran Turismo 7, Humanity, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Resident Evil Village VR mode, and Synapse. For Content Creator of the Year, the nominees are Iron Mouse, People Make Games, Whackity, Spreen, and Cypher PK. What's your most anticipated upcoming game? Remember, this has to be a game that's officially announced. The nominees are Final
Is
Fantasy
the next
VII
Grand Theft Auto
Reboot,
on here?
Hades 2, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8. Your nominees for Best Action Adventure Game are Alan Wake 2, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and The Legend of Zelda.
It would be nice if we
Tears
threw a
of the
bone
Kingdom.
to Jedi
For Best
Survivor on that one.
role-playing game, the jury selected Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy
There hasn't been a
16,
Starfield nom yet, has there?
Rise of P, Sea of Stars, and
Okay,
Starfield.
okay. There it is.
In the category of Best Fighting Game, the nominees are God of Rock, Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, and Street Fighter 6. The nominees for Best Action Game are Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Dead Island 2, Ghost
From
Runner
Dead
2,
Island 2 got in?
Hi-Fi
That's
Rush,
surprising. Hi-Fi
and
Rush.
Remnant 2. Innovation and accessibility celebrates games that are making our industry available and enjoyable to more people. Selected by a special committee of accessibility experts, this year's nominees for innovation and accessibility are Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Street Fighter 6. Next up, Best Family Game.
Nintendo,
Nominees are
Nintendo,
Disney
Nickelodeon.
Illusion Island, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars,
Hey, Sonic.
and
I read
Super
that.
Mario Bros. Wonder. The Best Sim Strategy nominees are Advance Wars
Surprising.
1 and 2 Reboot Camp, Cities Skylines 2, Company of Heroes 3, Fire Emblem Engage, and Pikmin 4. This year, these 5 games are nominated for Best Sports Racing: EA Sports FC 24, F1 23, Forza Motorsport, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, and the Crew Motorfest. Now a look at our esports categories, starting with Best Esports Game.
Every time they go over
Nominees are
the sports racing game, I just
2,
think about how Ed Boon
Dota
came out
2,
and like
League of Legends,
stomped on the entire
PUBG
category. It's like,
Mobile,
here's Mortal Kombat 11.
Valorant. Your Best Esport Athlete nominees are
That was a great moment, but also
Demon
it's
One,
like that's what the
Faker,
Game Awards are, you know.
Hydra, Imperial Hal, Ruler, and Zywoo. For Best Esports Team, our committee nominated these teams: Evil Geniuses Valorant, Fnatic Valorant, Game & Gladiators Dota 2, JD Gaming League of Legends, and Team Vitality Counter-Strike. The Best Esports Coach nominees are Potter, Homie, Gumba, Ecstasy, and Zonic. And finally, the nominees for Best Esports Event are 2023 League of Legends World Championship, Blast TV Paris Major 2023, EVO 2023, the International Dota 2 Championships 2023,
I have nothing
and
interesting to add to
Valorant
these.
Champions 2023. All right, you ready? It's time for our final 2 categories. Best Game Direction, which recognizes extraordinary creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. This year's nominees
Best direction.
are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, finally,
Okay,
on behalf
give
of
me
the
your time.
jury, I am proud to announce the 6 nominees selected for outstanding creative
see.
and technical excellence. The nominees for Game of the Year at the Game Awards are Alan Wake 2, developed by
Alan Wake
Remedy
2.
Entertainment, Baldur's Gate 3
Baldur's
from
Gate 3,
Larian
yep.
Studios, Marvel's Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
2
2 made
from
it in, okay.
Insomniac Games, Resident Evil 4 from Capcom, Super Mario
There we
Bros.
go. I
Wonder
love to see
from
that.
Nintendo, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from Nintendo. And there you have it. Those
No
are your nominees
Starfield,
for
no
the Game
Final
Awards.
Fantasy.
A highly competitive year for sure, but who will come out on top? Well, you can help select the winners by voting now at
Resident Evil 4.
thegameawards.com and on our Discord
For
server.
me, it's that
Hope you
Hi-Fi
join us
Rush and
live on
Zelda
Thursday,
and
December
Jedi are
7th
like the
for
ones
Game
that are
Awards.
at the top of my
The
list.
TGA Orchestra will be back on this very stage.
I
and as
didn't even
always, we'll pay
consider
tribute
that
to our Game of
we
the
got a
Year nominees.
nomination.
And yes, you can expect lots of news and updates on what's ahead for games in 2024 and beyond. So lock in your votes and get ready to celebrate 10 years of the Game Awards. We'll see
That's
you live
awesome.
on Thursday.
Love to see
December
Resident Evil
7th.
4 get a nomination. Oh, that's so good. So, no Final Fantasy 16. No Starfield. No Hi-Fi Rush either. I was kind of expecting it, but yeah, it makes sense. Those nominees make sense. I'm not really surprised by much except for Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is so good, the remake. And I'm not with the whole, oh, it's a remake, should be nominated sort of thing. That game is substantially different from that original Resident Evil 4. So, love to see it get some love in the Game Awards nominations. So, that is everything that's been nominated for Jeff Keighley's 2023 The Game Awards ceremony. That's going to be December 7th when that premieres. I'm sure we will have a live stream reaction to watch along for all the announcements and awards later, first week of December. So look forward to that. And that'll be it for me. And once again, I will remind you all, we have a TechRaptor Indie Spotlight going live this Wednesday. So tune in over here, youtube.com/TechRaptor for that showcase. It's going to be a breezy, brief presentation highlighting a bunch of really cool indie games for you to check out over the holidays or maybe early next year, throughout next year. There's a lot of really exciting stuff to look forward to, and we are very excited about this specific showcase so far. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this morning. I also shout out, we did a tier maker video last weekend. Check that out. Let me know what you think of that. That's a new thing we're doing over here every week. Going to be doing another one of those this week. So we did the best Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls Remastered bosses. That was a fun one to do. So looking forward to putting out more stuff over here on youtube.com/TechRaptor. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you very soon.